What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay Money and the Shark and Josh as well, man. AKA Punt School. Make sure you got to follow all of us on Twitter at Punt_school, at Sharks in Sports, at Jay Money is Money. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe. My guy Shark, how you doing, my brother?
Doing well. I was doing better 45 minutes ago before I heard about a player sitting out in a principal game on a suddenly not so casual Tuesday afternoon, April 26, 2022. Josh, good morning in Australia. What's going on today, brother?
What's happening, guys? Things are good. Things will be good. It's a good day ahead. There's plenty to look forward to, plenty to get through. So let's jump into it. Let's tackle this card for everyone.
Oh, I like that, Josh. All business, man. I like that. All business. My guy there from Australia, man. Let's get some cash today, my guys. Let's go up here to the streets of Miami here, man. Like we alluded to. I can't believe that Jimmy Butler got ruled out in this game. I mean, he was not, at least PJ Tucker and them been questionable. Jimmy Butler's never been on not one injury report. And then now he's just out of nowhere. You got people placing thousands of dollars, all this money on these games, millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? That's BS, corruption. I did say, though, that they probably had a conversation amongst themselves. We can smack these guys up regardless, even if we bring our defense. So it is a tough one without Lowry and Jimmy Butler out there, two of their main ball handlers. So it's a tough game. It's went down to 4.5 here, Shark. You like some in this one?
Well, again, this is a really difficult conversation. We had this conversation when Paul George sat out, of course, the last game of the season for the Clippers. This is slightly different. Obviously, Miami has this series pretty much in hand. But as we were discussing off the record, I don't care what's going on. This is the playoffs. You should play unless you're in a wheelchair. And this is absolutely ridiculous. This dude 2 nights ago was absolutely balling out. He was single-handedly at the lead of a 26-4 run to close the second quarter. He was balling like the all-star he is. Nothing happened in the interim. I'm sorry. This is purely league corruption. We said this during the regular season. This is taking it not one step up, 100 steps up. This is absolutely corrupt. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of market corruption here. We were talking about this on Twitter. The fact that this moved 7.5 to 6.5 all afternoon speaks to some sharps having insider knowledge. I said Gordon Gekko shit. Those of you who don't know, that's Wall Street, the movie, 1986, I believe a year it was. And discussing this game, however, this is obviously corrupted. We do look at what's going on here. Atlanta is completely outclassed in this series on all points on court and off court. They are not in the same league as the Miami Heat. I do think the Miami Heat will win this game and close it out tonight. Pros all over this roster. 7's going to be tough. We said it when Paul George sat out. The new line would probably be sharp. Of course, be cross-referenced with the previous line. 2.5 coming up to 4.5. 5 is pretty much the sharp average now. I'm still on -7. Hedging is one of the worst things you can do. Hard to advise here. The buy hat is sitting next to me. Not going to put it on because this is pissing me the hell off. Josh, put me in a better mood.
Man, it's a weird situation, but it's one that I spoke about a couple of times earlier, where if this drops any lower, I probably have to take Miami at this point. I still think that they have all the advantages that they need, especially at the defensive end of the floor. Now, personnel aside, the schemes that they run are causing Atlanta all sorts of headaches. They're a switch-heavy defense. Trae Young cannot penetrate into the paint like he wants to, and as soon as you stop him from being able to do that, it takes away the entire. It's a domino effect. It takes away the rest of the offense. There's no wide open perimeter spot up shooters available anymore. You don't have Clint Capella potentially again, which is going to play a huge part as well because it's the one guy that can play above the rim for you on those pick and rolls. So I think there's still a lot for Atlanta to have to work through offensively, even with Jimmy Butler out. Obviously, the big question is, can Miami still get it done offensively without Lowry and Butler now? And given how well Butler has played, when you have him playing in the mid-range like he does, it just opens up the floor for everyone else. So can they execute still at that end of the floor? My answer is still yes, because Atlanta is still a sub-tiered defense. I think they're probably still the worst half-court defense in the playoffs remaining. So, for me, there's still a lot of upside to Miami here. And I think if the line drops many more, you're probably going to get value on that side of the fence. And like Jay said, I think that there had to be some sort of discussion around this. And the consensus was they believe they can still get the job done against Atlanta and close this series out. Because if they didn't, I think Jimmy Butler goes ahead and plays through this just to make sure that they do, and so that he does get the appropriate rest he needs for his knee, if that is in fact an issue, where they can get a full week off, given the fact that Toronto could push Philly to 7 games in that series. So they could have some good rest time if they get the job done today. I think they go out and win here. So, and if they win, they probably win by margin as well. And all of a sudden that line probably not so impactful.
Yeah, that's a good point, because all year when the Hawks lose games, they usually get blown out and don't cover the spread. So if you do like the Hawks, probably take a money line. If you like the Heat, don't be scared to lay the points. It's a tough game for me. The Hawks hadn't necessarily played well on the road. That's the only thing I don't like. Unless you're in health and safety protocols or in the wheelchair, like my guy Shark says, I feel like Jimmy should play, man, because they still have their backs against the wall down 3-1. If they're not really necessarily ready to go home, they could come to play here. So I don't like it, man. You already without Lowry, you got to go ahead and close this team out, man. Rest afterwards, man. We shooting first, then we're asking questions later, man. But that's just how I look at it. If it's me, even if I'm 50%, I'm gonna try to come and play 20 minutes, my guys. But if you took the Heat early, you deserve the cash. Just on the league manipulation alone, deserve the cash, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Memphis real quick, man. I'm in the gym right now. I'm finna go over there to the locker room, holler at the guys, man. See if anyone's resting or if everyone's coming to play here. But like the Grizz here in the bounce back spot. See this that game 2 is a corollary spot. The Grizzlies, second best team in the league, 66.7% coming off a loss against the spread this year. I like them again, but I like them early here. I wouldn't talk you out full game. I do think this is a trifecta spot for the Grizzlies. Only thing I've taken so far is Grizzlies first half -3/-3.5. I think they start out early. In the post-game interviews, they're saying it. They got to start out early, jump on this team, and the refs were totally against them last game. They shot 42 free throws, still only lost the game by 1. That shows even more why they're the better team in this situation. They're pissed off. The Grizzlies will come out here and smack the Wolves team that's a bit softer here, Shark.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Top play of the day outside of the contaminant point pre-discussed. Memphis second quarter -1.5. I know not all books have that. Of course, Bovada does not. Of course, the legalized books in the U.S. do. A lot of international books do as well. And what I'm really honing in here is a significant trend within the series. As Jay said, Minnesota has handled them in the first quarter, actually 4-0 ATS in the first quarter in this series. We did get backdoored egregiously in game 2. Game 1, a total outlier. Weekend afternoon, first game, Memphis as a playoff number 2 seed, favored, throw that out. But if you do look at game 2, Minnesota did cover on the back door. But the key point here, Memphis is 4-0 in the second quarter ATS, and a significant energy shift. The Minnesota starters do like to come out with a lot of pace, shooting the ball, getting up and down. They play that almost like they should play the fourth quarter, if we're being honest. They really go balls to the wall right out of the gate. But then in the second quarter, Memphis' second unit and a lot of their flex 1 and 2 guys come in and lock down the defense. 23-12 second quarter in Minnesota. Game 1, game 2, and of course, as I mentioned before, Memphis is 4-0 ATS in the second quarter. Top look for me here, -1.5 second quarter. Punt School, Australia, official, I believe.
Yeah, I love Memphis here tonight. For me, they roll. I think, in all honesty, this is the most fraudulent 2-2 series I can remember off the top of my head in a long time. Memphis is so much better than Minnesota and playing so much better for large portions of the game. They're just getting some ridiculous outliers. I mean, you spoke about the free throw disparity. Not only that, 15 more free throws, 18 made threes from Minnesota, and they win the game by 1. I mean, those things don't replicate on the road for me, especially in a situation where you're going to get a bounce back Grizzlies, and defensively, they're going to make the adjustments they need to be made at that end of the floor. And we've seen in the 2 games that they've won where they have made those small defensive adjustments, it pays big dividends because it helps their offense. They can play off of live rebounds. They can push in transition. That's when their offense is at its most effective as well. So it's kind of a twofold thing. I think if they can, again, get that sorted defensively, it'll help their offense in turn. I honestly think they win by margin here. I saw someone in the chat saying ladder Memphis. I think that's a great look as well. I think it's a double-digit potential here for sure. I think the Grizzlies go out, get it done in pretty commanding fashion, and probably wrap this series up in 6 on the road as well, to be honest. Like I said, I think that the difference in quality between these 2 teams is going to come to the fore in these next 2 games as things tighten up. And there's only one team between these 2 that knows how to play defensive basketball, and that's the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I'm with you there. I feel like they obviously should have won game 4. It's another one, man, just like the Mavs, where they gave up 40 free throws. Like I said, the refs were all the other, and they still only lost the game by 1 point. It could have won. I mean, they really showed some just basketball wise when the refs are so much against you. Almost everybody for the whole starting 5 or the Grizzlies had 5 fouls, man.
Exactly.
To start the game, 2 fouls for everybody. It's absolute. They couldn't even get into a groove. So that was the main thing. Me coming to this game, the last game, they really talked about it. Couldn't even get into a groove. Everybody had fouls. Everybody's going to the bench. This game, home crowd, home cooking, whoop that trick, everything. Yeah, this is going down in the arena that I'm in right now. You see what I'm saying? Last game, I like that full game as well, Josh. I like that second quarter as well, Shark. We're going 3-0 on this game, man. We will win today, my guys. Last game up. Let's go over to the streets of Phoenix, Shark. The Suns here. This series tied 2-2 as well. Phoenix has shown that they can really defensively come to match up well with these Suns here, Shark. What do you think? It's obviously still no Devin Booker. Suns at the house off of a loss. It's been a zigzag type of series, Shark.
Yeah, this is tough stuff. And again, there's not really a lot we can cross-reference this with. We did cap this effectively in games 1 and 2 in Phoenix. Of course, with Devin Booker, looking back at what they did last year in the first round against the Lakers, we said they would come out game 1 effectively and cover, and they would tank game 2. Of course, they did tank game 2, but that was largely because Devin Booker got hurt. Now they come back here tied 2-2. The best I have here is looking back at what they did in round 1 last year. They did come home Sunday, May 30th, 2021 against the Lakers and absolutely hammered this team, 115-85. Of course, with Booker or not, this line is shading a half point to Phoenix in strength. I would lean Phoenix here. Phoenix needs to stand up. Phoenix just got insulted on the road. Willie Green and the boys did what they do. They defend their home stadium very well. But when you really go down to it, Phoenix needs this game. They know they can't go back on the road down 3-2 and lose game 6 in New Orleans. This is a must win. This is desperation time. This is Chris Paul's time. And this is not Chris Paul in the 2015 Western playoffs with Doc Rivers as the head coach. This is a better coach team, a deeper roster. I would lean Phoenix here if I had to. Desperation spot, not official. Punt School, comments, please.
Yeah, fully agree, man. I think you nailed it in its entirety there. The Suns, for me, are still the better team. I think the spot and situation lines up for them pretty strongly. You look at the number, and I saw a lot of people earlier today and even yesterday saying that the Suns can't be laying this many points with this version of them. I strongly disagree. I still think this is an elite team, especially at home, because in my opinion, Phoenix still has probably the best home court advantage in the playoffs remaining. That home court arena, when they're playing there, it's loud and it's a tough environment, especially for a team like New Orleans with so many young guys. If the Suns can get on top early and put separation between them in the first quarter, I don't see a world where the Pelicans can play catch up, to be perfectly blunt. I think that this game as well is going to be played a lot slower and a lot more meticulously, in which case it's going to suit Phoenix entirely. If Chris Paul comes out and sets the tempo immediately and forces half-court sets, he's going to be able to pick them apart offensively. Defensively, I don't think that the Pelicans have enough in them to trouble them, because you look at how New Orleans have played in half-court situations all playoffs, including the play-ins. They go on 4 or 5 minute scoring droughts. They did it against San Antonio. They did it against the Clippers. They've done it in 2 of the games already in this series as well. And it's going to happen again. The only time that their offense is able to roll is when they're able to get out in transition, attack early, and secure those offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities. Now, both those things for Monty Williams, they're simple adjustments. That's simple film study. You tag your guy off the offensive glass, you stop them from being able to generate those second chance opportunities, and you get back in transition quickly so that you force them into those half-court sets. And if you do that, I think you really go a long way to stopping what the Pelicans can do offensively, in which case that Devin Booker situation becomes a lot less critical because there's a lot less impetus on having to score and keep up in a shootout. So for me, this game script in particular is going to be very different to what we saw last time around. I think it's going to be slow. I think that the under for me is probably the best look as a result. That's one that I've locked in personally. I wouldn't talk anyone against backing the Suns here either, laying those points on Phoenix, because for me, this lines up as a situation where they really come out, put their foot on the throat, if you will, and win this by double digits.
Yeah, and it starts early for me, in my opinion. If we're looking at this game this way, the way that the Suns play, they let their home crowd get behind them. CP3 and the boys, even though he's a great closer, the Pelicans have, for some reason, every single time. I'm starting to think, does Willie Green really? Obviously, he came from the coaching tree of Money Williams last couple years, but I'm starting to think, does he have some up his sleeve? Because they own the third quarter versus these guys. So what I would do is, I think that Game 3 is a very good corollary. The Suns in a must-win game, even without Devin Booker, went on the road and won the first half by 50. I was on the Suns pretty heavy that game, full first half and full game, but they won the first half 59-48. That's how I see that. I was on the road as well, guys. So this is the Game 5 at the house, the even more pivotal game where they have the home crowd behind them. I'm damn near talking. I know that I like this, but I just hadn't taken it yet, guys. So Suns first half -3.5, I believe, is the right side in the top play in this game. I like the Suns to start this one early, and obviously you can't get down home, get down versus these Pelicans as well at the house in this must-win spot. So I see these guys starting early here, and it could possibly be the same thing. Pelicans third quarter, and then the Suns again close it out in that fourth quarter by 8 to 9 points, guys. That's how I see this game going. Suns first half -3.5. I think I'm gonna put a little something on that. Sharp, what you think about that? Any closing thoughts on this game?
Yes, actually, I was pulling up the box score as you said that because I wanted to see how they came out in Game 1 as a cross-referencing point. Because again, going back to that Lakers series last year, their best home ATS spots were Game 1 and 5, and Game 1 this year, 110-99 Phoenix. But first quarter, they came out with authority, 28-16. First half, a huge win, 25-18. Second quarter as well, and then as you mentioned, New Orleans pushed back hugely, 37-26 in the third quarter. I think the first quarter, first half of this game is absolutely the best look in the game.
I like when we just talk shit out, man. I like this. This is nice, man. We gotta do this. We gotta do this every single day. Love doing it with you guys, man. And I can't wait to talk about some shirts as well, guys. The J Money and the Shark shirts will be here on Friday, and we got a couple of winners as well, guys. We got a couple of winners for these Royal Blue Us Against the Bookies. We got the dark blue ones as well, man. Let's get some cash. So we got Max C. Newman at Max C. Newman from Twitter. My guy, if you're in the chat, hit me up, man, on Twitter, or I'll DM you, get your address. And Chi-Town Bets at Bets773 on Twitter, my guys. You two been selected for the 2 free shirts today. Hit me up, or I'll DM you. But if you can, just DM me for the address and all that good stuff, my guys. Free NBA picks every single day, man. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe. Josh, my brother, what you liking on today's card? And then kick it over to Shark, please.
Yeah, let's lock in 2 officials for me today. I'm taking the Memphis Grizzlies to cover that -6. I think that's going to be a double-digit blowout. I'm taking the under 215. I think it's 214.5 in some places. That's fine in New Orleans, Phoenix. Like I said, that's going to be a slow half-court game. Chris Paul controls tempo there. Suns probably win and cover as well. So I might join Jay on first half. But for me, 2 officials under in this Phoenix, New Orleans, and Memphis Grizzlies -6. Shark, what are you locking in? What do you got for us?
Well, 2 top plays, and of course, one is corrupted, contaminated, and really, really just infuriating stuff. We are on Miami -7. Miami can turn up. As I said, they got a deep, deep roster. They go 7 deep off their bench. This team is not entirely dependent on a superstar like the Brooklyn Nets last night. This team can really ball 1 through 12. I think you'll see it tonight. I think they cover the 4.5. 7 could get a little tight. I don't hedge. It's not what I do. It's long-term lifestyle stuff. You start hedging, all of a sudden you hedge again. You drive yourself nuts. One play should never define anything. Stay strategically centered long-term. Second play, Memphis, second quarter, -1.5. 4-0 ATS, second quarter in this series. Minnesota's first unit comes out. They were on their pace. Memphis locks it the hell in the second quarter. Top plays, top lifestyle, 9 words of lifestyle. Ride the wave or get out of the water. Jay Money, a pleasure. Hell of a shirt. Hell of an opportunity to dominate. Close them out and let's go.
Yeah, man, we're trying to get some cash. Us against the books, man. Let's get some cash. We will win today, guys. I like the Grizzlies in the first half, -3.5. Joshua Shark will also cash his play on this second quarter, -1.5. Joshua also cash his play on the full game, -6, -6.5. I do see this as being a Grizzly trifecta spot. Ja Morant likely won't turn the ball over at the end of the first quarter in this one. I see a trifecta spot by the Grizzlies. The refs this will be an evenly type of call game. The Grizzlies are pissed. They're the second best team in the league off of a loss as well. They're playing whoop that trick at the arena. I just hollered them right now coming from the locker room, and they said they're coming to play from the get-go here. They said that the Wolves are just a little bit too soft for their liking. Give me the Grizzlies here, first half, -3.5. And I'm also, for a smaller play right now, I'm locking in. I'm going to put some on Suns, -3.5. I think you see peak motivation. I still think this team has championship aspirations as well, guys. So it is a smaller play for me, but I'm still trying to cash it. Suns, first half, -3.5. I also think could be another trifecta spot for those guys as well. But early on, first quarter and first half would be the key points for the Suns here today. And also, one last key thing, I do think that Grizzlies and Wolves under has some juice to it. If it's a little bit more evenly called game, I could see the defense is actually getting, you know what I'm saying, being able to be physical today. I think 231.5. I think you see it coming down from 233 to 231.5 is the right side. I would heavily lean to that under, guys. Always trying to get some cash, helping out the people, man. Go follow us on Twitter at @punt_school, at Sharks and Sports, at J Money's Money. Let's get some cash, guys. We will win today. We're back tomorrow.